Hi, I'm Doug with Gone Feral, and this video is going to be on proper form and technique of using the bow drill method of fire by friction. Now it does assume that you already have yourself a bow drill kit you're happy with. A bow, a spindle, a handhold, and a hearth. The video is going to demonstrate what's going on internally in my mind and body that may not be visible to the student observing. Okay. So, I am right-handed. I hold the bow in my right hand. I'm going to take the spindle in my left hand, take it with the top pointing up. I'll stick that between the bow and the string and give it one twist back towards myself. Now, I like to locate the string below center where it wraps around the spindle, somewhere around 1/3 to 1/2 way up the spindle. There's a tendency for the string to work its way up the spindle, so I like to start with it low. I do recommend you start out with synthetic cord of some kind that does not stretch. It simply limits the variables, and there's always time down the road to go to more natural cordages. Okay, now once I lock that in, I hold that in my right hand, and I'll set it in the socket in my fireboard. Okay. Now I hold all that together while I take the handhold in my left hand and set it on top of the spindle. Now at this point, holding that together, I can let go of the bow and still have a hand free to do what I need. I like to locate that left hand so that the spindle is directly under the center of my palm, simply for balance. If I'm too far back or too far forward, there's a tendency to wobble and get off balance, and that's really no bueno when it comes to the bow drill. So directly over top of the spindle. Now, in terms of what my lower body is doing, I like to keep everything in right angles to one another. The ankle, the knee, the hips, the back knee. You also notice that the lower leg of my back leg is pointing that way, straight back, perpendicular to my front leg. If it's straight behind me, I'm going to find it a little more difficult to balance. So by keeping it out to the side, it's like a tripod. I also don't keep my leg forward because when I run the bow back, I'll hit my leg. You will occasionally see in some old drawings and pictures, some people keep their leg forward and run the bow this way. I have had some students tell me they have some success with that, but by and large, sitting upright, 90-degree angles, and leg back that way seems to be the best success ratio we've found. Okay. Now, once I get my balance down, I find it very easy to keep the spindle from wobbling if you lock your wrist and your front leg together. And you just simply lean into it, treat them as one unit clamped together. If I keep that leg too far back, it comes down to just my arm trying to hold this together. If I'm too far forward, I may have similar problems. So by keeping the middle of my foot, that arch on top of the fireboard, right next to the spindle, I can clamp these together, keep my leg back out of the way, and I sit up. It's actually a fairly comfortable position. Now, if I lean too far forward, it's on just my arm to muscle that spindle in place. But if I sit up, lock my arm, lock these together, now it's my upper body weight that's applying the downward pressure instead of my muscle. Once I'm comfortable there, I could even let go of this handhold if I'm balanced. Once I'm in place, I'm going to take hold of the bow and draw it very slowly all the way back and shove it all the way forward. Now, I do encourage you to use the full length of your bow. Stopping short, each time you stop, you're losing efficiency. The socket is cooling. So use the full length of your bow. And I also often get the question of how much pressure am I putting down? This is one of those internal things. Start out with less pressure. If you're putting too much pressure down, you may notice that as you draw the bow, the string simply slides around the spindle and the spindle doesn't turn. So you want little enough pressure that the spindle will turn, but enough pressure that you're applying friction. So practice will help. I like to keep the string on the bow super tight because then I can apply more pressure downward and the spindle still turns. So notice I'm staying fairly slow. I'm using the full length of the bow. Squeaking is a sign that the surfaces have glazed over. You need to remove that glazing either by carving the tip of the spindle with the knife, grinding it against a stone, or even sprinkling some sand into the socket. In a few moments, you begin to see some wisps of smoke, and you want to gauge not by the smoke, but by the dust that you're producing. That notch will be filling, first with brown dust, and then darker and darker. You want very fine particles of black dust. You want to go until that fills that notch in the front. You'll see building smoke, so I'll increase the downward pressure and a little bit of speed. Now I like to go until I'm confident that I have a coal and that notch is full. Then I give it 10 good, quick, fast strokes. Now I take my time at this point. I'm a little winded, and if I rush, I run the risk of crushing my coal. You'll see we've got a nice good sized coal there, lots of extra dust, and time to spare. Catch your breath. If there's a slight breeze like there is today, it's going to continue to fan your coal. If not, you can gently breathe on it, fan it with your hand or a hat. And what you'll notice is the center of this is becoming darker and darker. It's elevating the temperature of the surrounding dust that isn't yet part of the coal. So the coal will continue to grow, and again, you have time to spare. At this point, you would bring your tinder bundle over and go to step 2 in the fire making process, which is taking the coal, adding it to the tinder, and blowing it to flame. For more information on that, you can check out our other videos. But for now, happy fire making, thanks for watching, and good luck. See you next time.